Molo Sanbonani, hello, how's it? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Friday. Yeah, boy. Welcome to it. This is Vuka Nazo, your morning news analysis show here on the Big Daddy Liberty channel. Now, my name is Usihle Ngobese, aka Big Daddy Liberty. Remember, you can get in touch with us by visiting our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. There, of course, if you scroll to the bottom of the website, you can become a growing number of individuals who are pledging 100 Rand a month towards the show. It's those funds which help us hire the editors and the writers and the people who are helping me create an alternative media platform. Now, with that being said, if you love Vuka Nazo as your morning go-to for news analysis, how about you join our friends at the Daily Friend, who come to you every weekday, or rather Monday to Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. live. That's the Daily Friend, of course, at dailyfriend.co.za. Now, with that jibber jabber out of the way, how about we get straight into the news? Okay, we begin in Johannesburg, a massive bust by our men and women in blue, indeed in conjunction with Interpol, the special task force of the South African Police Service swooping in on dangerous, hardened international criminals who've been hiding in Bryanston. Yeah, that's right, Bryanston, of all places, where an Israeli most wanted gang leader had been hiding. Now, I've read this, of course, directly from the South African Police Service press release on it, which basically read as follows. Now, a multidisciplinary team led by Interpol South Africa, organized crime, that's from SAPS, detectives and of course crime intelligence and the STF, arrested this 46-year-old Israeli gang leader attached to a criminal organization in Israel called Aragil Organization. During an early morning takedown operation, the team pounced on an identified address in Bryanston and found the suspect and 7 others with 12 firearms, including 5 assault rifles, 7 pistols, $40,000 in cash on them, and of course 3 suspected motorcycles were seized. Now, all role players are at the scene where the investigation and search warrant is being executed. End of quote. Now, a massive congratulations to SAPS in this regard, but a reminder to you what I've raised before when we spoke about terrorism in particular. Remember that episode over there, if you want to check it out, where I made mention that beyond terrorism, South Africa is becoming a transit place for international criminals, people who are either using South Africa as a base to either hide in, a base to operate from, or a place where to generate funding to continue their illicit activity across the world. From terrorism to organized crime to human trafficking, South Africa is descending into a hellhole where not only local criminals who are killing us, depriving us of life, liberty, and property rights are ruling the roost, but international criminals too are finding South Africa to be rather a safe haven for them. A big thanks to, of course, our men and women in blue, the South African Police Service, who have always argued one has to separate issues when it comes to SAPS. Ordinary guys, police officers on the ground, the overwhelming majority of them care. They're trying to make a difference. The problem is they have a overall leadership and management structure which at a leadership level is inept, incompetent, and really defined by a dumb asshat of a political leader. And of course, at a managerial level, they have corrupt and at times even just incompetent individuals who are managing them. And trust you me, you fix that layer of SAPS and you'll suddenly see a 21st century efficient, effective, visible policing and of course hardy police service that will actually serve South Africans. So I'll definitely take this win and I hope SAPS enjoys this win too, and let there be more. Okay, we stay in Johannesburg where if you are a private vehicle owner in that part of the world, you may find yourself having to give a lift to the traffic officer who stops you to give you a ticket, or maybe you might have to fetch the official. If you report a water or electricity fault, you might have to fetch that official to come fix that said fault. And why? Well, because effectively the city of Johannesburg has had its vehicles repossessed by Avis. Avis has repossessed its Joburg metro vehicles that it had rented or leased out to the city. Now, the vehicles in question make up what they call the vehicles are the city's non-specialized vehicles. Now, these are the cars, the Bhekis, the small trucks that you'll often see the city use, which they had leased from primarily Avis and a company called AfriRent. We'll get into that in a moment, because that company is perhaps at the center of why there was a need to repossess these cars. How many cars are we talking about here? Well, potentially this fleet of the non-specialized fleet that is made up of 4,000 vehicles, Bhekis, and trucks. Now, this, of course, revolves around a dodgy tender that the city of Joburg, had entered into. Now, let me read this piece from News 24, which wrote up this particular story, which cited, of course, that on Wednesday, Avis confirmed the collection of its vehicles, saying, quote, "This is due to the expiry of a full maintenance lease agreement that terminated on the 31st of October. Notice was given to the city as per the agreement." Now, the spokesperson for the mayoral committee for group corporate and shared services, A1 McKinley Mitchell, said the issue was the contract for the fleet, which National Treasury had declared as irregular in 2020. He added, the contract was awarded to Avis and AfriRent under a tender which Treasury ordered the city to cancel and do a thorough forensic investigation into it. Now, Mitchell continues to say the city, then governed by the ANC, did neither of those things and, quote, took no steps to start a new tender process. We inherited this mess from the ANC and a regular contract that had been constantly extended and no investigation done. An investigation now is underway to establish whether AfriRent had made payments to politically linked individuals, and a simple glance at the numbers show that the city was not getting value for money, end of quote. Now, of course, you'll remember this particular mayoral committee member is from the coalition government under Mayor Mpho Phalatse, who's of course from the DA, and she's citing that actually they inherited this contract from the ANC, a dodgy contract indeed, and the ANC had simply been renewing the contract, dodgy as it is, with no investigation. As I always say, and I'll continue to say, corruption places a massive toll on service delivery and indeed ordinary people in a society who pay their rates, levies and taxes expecting a service. But in between you paying your rates, levies and taxes and the service delivery is a corrupt middle layer of crooked cronies and cadres and political elites who extract value from that system and pocket it for themselves. So that the question now becomes, will this investigation be launched by this DA administration, and what will it uncover? Will we find that a situation where metro officials, whether they're cops, or metro cops that is, or officials who fix your water and electricity, are suffering without water, unable to do their duties simply because some corrupt and crooked politician pocketed the cash? All right, it is that time of the show, of course. You remember every Friday here on Vuka Nazo, we have a Moomish of the week or a champ of the week. Moomish, of course, being a loser or a losing action or person or whatever the case may be that is notable and should be called out and shamed in the week. So, who do we have this week? Well, we have a Moomish this week, and of course, our Moomish of the week is Bheki, the asshat Cele. Yes, that's right. Who, of course, deserves Moomish of the week. Now, why is Bheki Cele the Moomish of the week? Well, here is an individual who's meant to be the political head of the South African Police Service, who is meant to be the individual who collects our hopes and aspirations as a South African public for a safer South Africa by working hard to beef up the administration of SAPS. That should be his role, to provide the political leadership over such an organization. Now, you'll expect, of course, that he would have had a very busy week doing exactly all of this. No, that's not what he did. No, not Bheki Cele. Instead, Bheki Cele was cavorting and gallivanting seen at idols events, of course, having a great time in that part of the world, having also cringy interviews with idols winners and not dealing with some of the serious issues that have come across our news headlines in the week, which range from a whistleblower pointing out that the fundamental structure of SAP's management is corrupt and corrupted. Those allegations, of course, you'll remember from a whistleblower, Patricia Mashale, or the fact that a judge, a magistrate in Mount Aleph being gunned down in broad daylight, a judiciary officer gunned down like that in this country, instead of dealing with these and many more serious issues that affect our life, liberty, and property rights. No. Bheki Cele was having a great time, great awkward time over at Idols.
Okay.
Yeah, that douchebag, effectively. So he is a very deserved inclusion of Moomish of the week. All right, guys, that's it for this, the Friday edition of Vuka Nazo. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, your comments are definitely most welcome. I do sit and read through most of them, so make sure you send those comments through, pardon me, whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube in particular, do me a solid favor. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. I'm trying to reach 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Ask your friends, ask your family to subscribe to the Big Daddy Liberty channel. With that being said, you'll find us on our website at bigdaddyliberty.com. There too, you'll catch all our content and the like. And yeah, hope you guys are enjoying things so far. As of next week, expect us to be on all your podcasting platforms. So we're working on that over the weekend. And of course, a merch store is coming at the end of the month, just in time for Christmas gifting and the like. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you on Sunday for Liberty and Friends. And I'll see you again next Monday for another episode of Vuka Nazo.